What's up, y'all? It is your girl, Ashley Ross, and I am so excited to get into the Week 14 games. This was a good week, a lot of blowouts, some close games. We're going to get into it all right here, right now on The Ashley Ross Show. You know, I don't even really do the Thursday game, but with the way that the Steelers-Viking game finished, I had to address it. Now, the play that everybody is talking about, Chase Claypool, he gets the fourth down conversion, so good for you. And instead of having situational awareness, putting the ball on the ground, let's get lined up for the next play, he does his first down celebration, and it takes precious time off the clock. If you ever watch football with me, there are two things that greatly frustrate me when I'm watching football. Number one, players that celebrate before they get to the end zone. I have seen so many times where players try to get cute and, zigzag into the end zone. And I have seen also, remember when DK Metcalf, his ball got punched out? I remember a couple years ago, a Bears player got punched out. And I'm like, good, that's what you deserve for thinking that you could celebrate before you get into the end zone. So that's number one. And number two, lack of situational awareness. And that was Chase Claypool. I understand that you're hyped and you're excited, but you have to have situational awareness in that moment. And then what added insult to injury is when he was doing his presser and they brought it up and he could have just said, look, that was my bad. I shouldn't have done that. I just was hyped. I wasn't thinking it won't happen again. No, he wants to blame the lineman and show lack of accountability. And this is the Steelers' issue. Chase, in that situation, you just got to own it. The Steelers got to own where they're at, and Chase, you just got to own your boo-boo in that moment. Now, the Vikings, this is why I can't trust the Vikings, because they do not finish games. This was a screenshot of the Viking season. They don't put teams away, and this is why I don't feel like they're going to go that far. I'm just saying it. Ravens versus the Browns. Now, Lamar did go down pretty early in this game, but even pre-Lamar injury, I just feel like the Ravens, they kind of were reeling a little bit. I mean, the run game hasn't really been there. I'm not overly impressed with their wide receiving core. I know that Mark Andrews, he's really good for them, but other than that, I mean, Hollywood Brown, he's okay, but he's kind of inconsistent. And then defensively, they're just so depleted. So I feel like the Ravens, just off the strength of their schedule thus far, will probably get into the playoffs, but I see them being one and done. I don't think that even if Lamar comes back, this is a threatening Ravens team like they were at the beginning of the season. To the Browns, I definitely feel like the bye week helped the Browns and helped Baker get healthier. The Browns, they're in a good spot because without Odell being there, you don't really have that pressure to have to get Odell a certain amount of targets. So now you can spread it out to your wide receivers again. And then we know what the running game can do when healthy and successful. And defensively, Myles Garrett, he's up for Defensive Player of the Year, and the rest of the defense is clicking. So the Browns still have something cooking in Cleveland. I don't know how far they can go, but hey, last year no one expected them to beat Pittsburgh, and you never know what can happen. Jaguars versus the Titans. It is just so sad in Jacksonville right now. And I 100% put the blame on Urban Meyer. Usually I divvy up between people. No, it is 100% on Urban Meyer because since he took over his tenure, it has been nothing but chaos and dysfunction. I mean, let's just list a couple things. Number one, the sketchy racial background strength and conditioning coach who he should have fired right away when it all came out, but then he tried to hold on and was pressured out of him. Then you signed Tim Tebow, who's never played tight end. Then you had the Ohio incident when you didn't come back with the team. That would have been bad enough. And then you got the bar incident where he was pushing up on Shorty was pushing up on him. Not a good look. Then you fast forward to you bench James Robinson for fumbling. Trevor Lawrence, who's mild-mannered Clark Kent, doesn't say anything ever. He had to come out and defend his man. And then now you're calling your coaches losers, allegedly, and that you're a winner. This is not college. This is not you dangling a scholarship in front of people and they're going to perform. These are grown men. And you cannot talk to grown men like they're little boys. That's not going to fly in the NFL. So you have all of this on top of the quarterback that's supposed to save the franchise looks a mess. And we're not even paying attention to Trevor Lawrence. And I don't want to hear, oh, it's because he plays in Jacksonville, because we were sure paying attention to Joe Burrow in Cincinnati. We were paying attention to Kyler Murray in Arizona. And we paid attention to Baker Mayfield in Cleveland, like 0-16 Cleveland. So it's not about geographics. Urban Meyer, the time has come. They need to just cut ties. Now, I think, yeah, give him the rest of the season because why not at this point? Keep tanking for these draft picks. But other than that, there is no reason that Urban Meyer, come past Black Monday, should be a part of the Jacksonville Jaguars organization. It is an embarrassment to Duval. It is an embarrassment to the NFL, and he needs to go. Raiders versus the Chiefs. Raiders, it probably wasn't the best idea to poke the sleeping giant that is the Chiefs and have your pregame on their logo. You know, they still had in the back of their mind last season when they were doing laps around the stadium. The way that the Chiefs came out and played against the Raiders, it was personal. I mean, divisional games are always personal, but the hitting and the licking that they put on the Raiders, I mean, it was like 35-3 at halftime. You just knew Raiders are not coming back in this one. Let's start with the Chiefs and then I'll get into the Raiders. The Chiefs, I gotta commend the Chiefs because they're probably playing with a chip right now. And this is actually probably good for them because they were just so used to all the praise and adulation. And they know that it has been real quiet in the media space. You know, everybody was super critical of them early on. What's wrong with the Chiefs? They're struggling. Now, nobody wants to give them the respect for putting games together, getting back to looking like the Chiefs. So they're definitely playing with the chip right now. And this is probably dangerous for the rest of the NFL. And when you look at their remaining schedule, the Chiefs, when it's all said and done, if they win out and some other games go their way, they could be sitting at the 1 seed on the bye, sipping mimosas, watching the other teams gut it out wild card weekend. So the Chiefs, they're back to being the Chiefs. The Raiders, I understand they've got injuries, no Waller, that hurts what they're trying to do. But the Raiders, you know how they say new year, new me? The Raiders need a new year, new them. You know, just this season between the John Gruden situation with the emails, the Ruggs situation, it's just been a lot for one team to overcome. I just think at this point in time, they need to kind of pack it up and they need to just clean house. You know, I was a big fan of Rich Bisaccia when he started, and this isn't really so much about Rich Bisaccia. It's just really what the Raiders need. You look at teams like the Bills and the Chargers and the Browns who got revitalized by bringing in a younger, inventive coach, and that's what the Raiders need. They need someone who is young, enthusiastic, and who's going to have a Sean McVay effect on them because this is a talented core. They just need the right molding and the right touch. Saints versus the Jets. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time on this game, but I was happy to see Taysom Hill finally get a win. And I respect the fact that he was doing whatever he could the last few years within the Saints organization to get playing time, to get opportunities. So it was nice to finally see his ultimate goal of playing quarterback come and be something that was a success. To the Jets, I keep saying this, but Robert Saleh, I get it. Y'all are 3-10. It doesn't look that bright. But I just want to see Robert Saleh look like 49er Robert Saleh. He is energetic. He is intense. He's passionate. And I just don't see that from him. And ultimately, you're going to have to bring some of that because when you're not winning, you got to bring something to the table. So, Robert, I need you to bring us a little juice, a little sauce. Falcons versus the Panthers. Cam Newton is another one. I want to see Cam get the twinkle back in his eye. Now, I get it. You're losing. You're not playing the best football right now. And you're kind of worried about job security in the future. I get all of that. But enjoy the moment. I mean, we see that nothing in the NFL and in life is promised. So enjoy the moment for what it is. And the fact that you're even back in Carolina, which is something that a year ago you probably didn't even think was a possibility again. So I get it, but don't allow the situation or the circumstance to change your essence. We still love Cam. We love the flash. And you know what? Do that till the wheels fall off. Cam, whoa, Cam. Shout out to Dion. Before we get into the Lions-Broncos game, I do want to take a little time and pay my respects to Demaryius Thomas. I remember I was sitting down and I saw that he had passed, and it was just so shocking. I mean, number one, how young he was, and just I didn't know him personally or anything like that, but I do remember seeing him back in the day on Jesse James and Eric Decker's show. And I just remember thinking like, wow, he looks like such a nice, good guy. And then after his passing, just hearing all the stories of just how impactful he was and just truly how loved he was within the NFL community and within Bronco community, it really just makes you pause and appreciate those you love. And you want to make sure that while people are here, that you hug on them, that you love on them, and that they know just how impactful they are to you. So Demaryius, we hope that you are smiling down, and I'm sure that you are at peace. To the game itself, I just knew in my gut that the Broncos were going to come out and they were going to put on a performance because they were going to make sure that they sent their guy off in style, and they absolutely did that. So shout out to the Broncos. Job well done. Seahawks versus the Texans. Seattle got 2 wins in a row. Woo! Maybe Russell will stay. Woo! I can't even lie to y'all. I have emotionally disconnected from the Seahawks this season because I just couldn't do it anymore. I really just couldn't do it anymore. I was tired of being on the train. I understand that I might get roasted. Listen, I got it from my dad. He's not loyal to his teams either. This is why I am the way that I am. It is what it is. But shout out to Seattle for getting the dub. And Texans, hopefully the Texans just aim for a high draft pick. Aim for a high draft pick, and maybe you can get a good quarterback. Now, if you do get a good quarterback, please get a line to protect him. Giants versus the Chargers. The Chargers are another team. They want us to take them seriously. They put 2 games together in a row. Now, it was against the Giants, but a win is a win. This is my cause for concern with the Chargers. Number one, I don't think that they finish games well. When you look at their season, games that they should have put away or games that they've lost, they need to learn how to finish. Very similar to the Minnesota Vikings. And 2, what is the return timeline for Keenan Allen? He was placed on the COVID list, so he didn't play on Sunday, and they have a short week because they play the Chiefs on Thursday. And I believe if they have any chance against the Chiefs, they're going to need a full squad. So I really hope for the Chargers' sake he can play. 49ers versus the Bengals. I give the Bengals credit for coming back in this game. Joe Burrow, he is ice cold at the end of games sometimes. It's really fun to watch what him and the Bengals squad is doing. But the 49ers, I wrote off the 49ers. There was a point in the season where I just kind of put them in the Lions, Jacksonville, Jets category, and I didn't think that they were a winning team. And they have proven that they are. They've won 4 out of 5 of their last games. They're doing it by going back to their 49er formula. Y'all know I love me some Kyle Shanahan, and this is what you get with him. You're going to have a good running back core. Your quarterback is not going to be asked to do too much. And I want to give credit to Jimmy G because they're not getting these wins despite Jimmy. He's going down and making some of these game-winning drives happen. So let's put a little respect on Jimmy G. And George Kittle. George Kittle is balling right now. Back-to-back games with 150-plus yards. He's doing that. And that's just on offense. Defensively, Nick Bosa, we know he is a problem. And they had 5 sacks on the day. So if I'm any team, I'm not trying to see the 49ers week 1 wild card weekend of the playoffs. That is not a matchup you're trying to see right now because the 49ers are hot. Bengals, I am still believing in Cincinnati. I'm going to stick beside them through the ups and the downs. And look, the playoffs are all about catching momentum at the right time. Look at Tampa last year. Now, I'm not saying Cincinnati is Tampa, but I'm saying all you really got to do is get your momentum, put a couple games together, and then boom, you're to the Super Bowl. If it was that easy, everybody would do it. Who dey? Bills versus the Buccaneers. The Bills, I'm not going to say that I'm disappointed in the Bills because this was a tough matchup. I mean, Tampa is a Super Bowl playoff caliber type team, and they needed a win, and this was just not a great matchup. They rallied back, so they get credit for that. But the Bills, they need to regroup, and they need to regroup very quickly. Bills, you do not want to find yourself in a Panther Cam Newton situation when it comes to Josh Allen. And that is what is happening because you are not having any kind of run game. He's already the type of player anyway that's going to try to put the team on his back and get the first down and sacrifice his body. That's great, and that's great for team morale and momentum. But ultimately, to protect your investment in the franchise, your star quarterback cannot be taking the kind of hits that Josh Allen takes. They just need to commit to the run. Singletary is a good enough back that he can take the carries. And who knows, if it doesn't work, go back to the past. But at this point, clearly what you're doing is not working. A team that everything is working for, the Buccaneers. Tom Brady, every game, how does he have records still left to break? That's the interesting part. I'm like, you would think that he holds pretty much every record, but every game there's like, he had the most pass yards on a rainy Tuesday in December. Like, that's what these records are now. But hey, when it's all said and done, he will have everything. Cowboys versus Washington. I don't know if y'all notice anything different about my wall this week, but Washington, you have been removed. I understand that y'all were on the win streak, and truthfully, I never was sipping Washington's Kool-Aid, and I knew for good reason, but I was kind of guilted into it because y'all beat Seattle, and I said, look, I got to put a little respect on Washington's name, but no. The Cowboys, they are running the NFC East, and Micah Parsons, I mean, this man is incredible. Forget Rookie of the Year. He's up for Defensive Player of the Year, and my stepmom, shout out to her, she is a Penn State alumni, so I know the history of great linebackers out of Penn State. Micah Parsons, he's just playing at a different level. And he's such a throwback player, and he plays with such a viciousness and an intensity. And you love to see it if you're a purist and you really love the game of football. And I give a lot of credit to Dan Quinn and what he has done with this defense. A year ago, we were laughing at Dallas's defense. Now, this defense is taken seriously in the NFL. And this just goes to show that some guys are better coordinators than head coaches. Matt Nagy, I'm just saying, some people work better as a coordinator, and that's no shade. Your specific skill set is better in a specific area. But I digress. Offensively, Dallas, I would like to see them be a little bit more in rhythm at times, but overall, Dallas, they're clicking. And how about them Cowboys? And rounding out the Sunday games, Bears versus the Packers. And yes, Aaron Rodgers still owns the Bears and will continue to own the Bears as long as he remains in the NFC North. That's pretty much it for that game. Now, shout out to the Bears for sticking in the game for the first part. I do feel like they came out with a good effort and they weren't just going to get completely dragged, but they're still owned by Aaron Rodgers. My only hesitation and cause for concern when it comes to the Packers is that little toe of Aaron Rodgers and how it could affect them going down the stretch. He already put it out into the ether that if somebody steps on the toe, it could be a wrap, he might need surgery. So this Packers team will truly go as far as Aaron Rodgers will take them, and if he's healthy, I see them in the NFC Championship. Before we wrap it up, I am bringing back one of the people's favorite segments. It's time to go. At number 3, Matt Nagy. Now, I was watching the Sunday night game yesterday, and Chris Collinsworth, he was trying to throw Matt Nagy a bone that he's a lovely man and he's nice. You can be the nicest person ever. That does not make you a good coach, and business is business. If you and I were nice but not good at our jobs, we would not have jobs. So the same should apply for head coaches. I understand that he inherited Mitch Trubisky, but Justin Fields has too much talent and too much upside to be wasted on what the Bears are currently doing. So for that reason, Matt Nagy, it's time to go. Number 2, the Raiders coaching staff. And this hurts my heart because I really do like the Raiders and I like Rich Bisaccia, but they just need new blood. They need new energy. They just need newness all across the board. So it's just kind of a casualty of war in the NFL. Raiders coaching staff, I'm sorry, but it's time to go. And number 1, who I will not be sorry when he goes, is Urban Meyer. He has brought nothing but dysfunction, embarrassment, chaos to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and Duval deserves better. Trevor Lawrence deserves better. The coaches, the players, and shoot, I deserve better because my dad has been hurting since 1995 as a Jaguar fan. So in the words of the Bay Area legend Too Short, Urban Meyer, it's time to go. It's time to go. Bye, Urban. Go back to college because the NFL, it ain't for you. You can't do the things you're doing in the NFL. Only works for people on scholarship, Urban. Only works if you're on scholarship. And that wraps up week 14 of the NFL season. I really enjoyed this episode. If you couldn't tell, it's time to go. Until I see you guys next week, make sure that you like, subscribe, and follow me on Instagram at AshleyRoss3. I appreciate y'all. Happy holidays, and I will see y'all very soon.